coach to you today. Wow. She said, when I joined the council, she said, get yourself to 2-star and maybe I'll come. So this girl means what she says. Her name's Tarah Carr. I was her personal trainer for a figure competition that she did on Okinawa in 2012. Her husband Adam was deployed to one of the most dangerous areas of the Middle East. I knew what that meant because I'm a Marine spouse. But I couldn't imagine what she was going through every day at home with her 2 boys. I was afraid for her, but we didn't really talk about it in the gym. She made a daddy doll that her boys clutched every night before they went to bed. And she told me about this doll. And all I could say was, wow. She talked about this Beachbody company and home workouts, and I laughed and I said, you can't build muscle in your living room. She actually has that on her website, that a personal trainer told her that. I didn't understand, but what I did understand was the fire and the determination in her eyes. Come up here. Please. The fire and determination in her eyes, her servant's heart, and her unrelenting drive and discipline. Tarah is a 3-time elite top 10, superstar diamond coach, and the first and youngest to reach this accomplishment internationally. She has hit Success Club every single month since she's been a coach. That's like 60-some months. Amazing. Some of us struggle with the last 30 months. I do too, still. She became a millionaire in the first 3 years of this business. But more important than all of that, Adam's home with her right now. She is a goal crusher, and after speaking at Summit last year, she became known as a storytelling ninja. It's my honor and my pleasure to introduce to you the woman who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, Tarah Carr. Thank you guys. So I have to first say thank you for inviting me here and doing a military theme. Because when I bought these shoes, my husband said to me, let's be realistic, babe. How many times are we going to find a place to wear camo heels? And I was like, we'll figure it out. If the shoe fits, we'll figure it out. And so we got the memo. This is my 5th time wearing them. We're getting a lot of use, babe. So, thank you. I'm going to give a round of applause for any service members that we have today here with us that have served. So selflessly, and for one, I'm so appreciative of that. I'm so grateful to spend 7 years of my life with a military wife. There were a lot of times where it gets hard. If you're in that lifestyle, you know that it's not easy, but the greatest thing that ever happened to me with being a military wife is I learned how to develop grit. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, because if you develop grit in your business, you will be successful. I promise you that. Maybe we can have a Jonathan Gelfand disclaimer that I can add on there, which is not guarantee any success, blah, 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 blah. I don't have it fully memorized yet. I'm getting there. But I promise you that grit will help you in this business. When I first went to my first event with Beachbody, that aha moment happened for me. I was like, these people are crazy. They love working out. I hated working out still. I just did it because I wanted to fit in my clothes. But I was like, they're so happy. I think some of them are on drugs. I'm not sure. Maybe it's in the Shakeology. We should probably get that looked into. But it was fun. I liked it. I felt like all of a sudden I had an identity. You know, sometimes you lose yourself in the day-to-day life. That was me. We were living in Japan. He was gone. 10 months out of every year we had our second son. He left about 6 days later. Didn't meet him until he was about 6.5 months old. So I got lost in the shuffle of life until I went to my first event. And I sat there and I thought to myself, why not me? All of these people are doing it. They're doing it. Some of these girls aren't wearing makeup. I typically don't like to do that either. So that means that that's okay. I can do this. But I had to learn very quickly, and this is the number one key to my success, is that there are no systems when you are not consistent. And I want you to write that down. I thought when I would show up to my first event that I would leave with like this 500-page book with Michael on the front cover in a Shakeology suit, like doing the turbo pose, that would tell me everything I needed to do to be successful. There was all these systems I was looking for. But what I learned when I left is that there was no book. I had to develop it on my own. So I'm going to teach you a couple pages of my invisible book of some of the things that I've learned. The number one thing is there are no systems when you're not consistent. Now we know this to be true because it's what we sell every day. It's what we share with people. We have the perfect action plan that we can give to people in a box when it reaches that front door, right? When someone's buying one of Tony Horton's programs, they get P90X. Woo! That's right. They've got the meal plan. They have the DVDs. They have the schedule. With a lot of our programs, we have containers. There's a book that says you can't have McDonald's, yet people still do it on the program, and they're like, it didn't work like those other people. What happened? And you're like, you happened. You didn't do it. We have the perfect system, but people have to follow it if they want to look like the people on the infomercials with the before and afters. I've been very grateful to be in test groups. I know you have to follow these things to a T. You can't cheat. It's not fair, because if we cheat, we're representing something that it's not true, because that's not how they developed it. So you have to follow it to a T. So everything I tell you today, I want you to remember, if you don't do it consistently, it won't be a system for you. It won't work. System number one that I learned, I was a rank chaser. I was one of those people that went diamond in 21 days. My sponsor was like, hit Success Club. 3 days later, I'm like, okay, I'm at 10 points, what do I do now? She was like, I don't know. Just keep doing whatever it is you're doing. I'm like, well, I've already seen it with my mom, my husband, my brother. No friends are talking to me right now, so I really don't know what to do. I just did it. She's like, okay, well, just be you. Just talk on social media. She thought it was funny. That was encouraging. I didn't feel like I was. But she said, just be you. Make videos. Get out of your own head. So I chased these ranks and these titles, and I wanted to be a Success Club All-Star legend, thingamabobbers, all these things. If you had a title, I wanted it. I didn't understand why, but I just wanted it. So what you understand is that's your personality. You'll hear a lot of people talk about, don't chase rank, go for volume, you've got 7 legs and 9 arms, and do this and place here. That's so complicated. I didn't understand any of that when I signed up. All I understood was that I liked who I was. I liked that I could smile at the reflection in the mirror that I saw because of the results that I achieved with our fitness program, and I just wanted to share that to anybody who would listen to me. Anyone. Grocery store people to check it out, you name it, we were talking. Wearing chair 24/7. But I realized I did that because that was something that was deeply rooted in me as a child, is that I felt like I didn't matter. So I felt like I had to prove myself. I felt like I wanted that day that my dad would like find me on Facebook to be like, she's something. Maybe I'll call her on her birthday this year. That's why I did stuff. Because I felt like I needed to do something to be someone and matter. But what I had to realize was system number one that I created. I can, I have, I like, I am, I remember. Those are the things that I want you to write down. And I want you to take notice of the things that follow. So even though I was chasing these ranks and I was chasing these big goals, and people made me sound me as someone who was confident, behind the scenes what I would write down was, I can, okay, what you believe you are capable of. So when I first started, I didn't really think I was capable of a whole lot. I barely graduated high school. I moved out of my house when I was 18 years old on the day of my birthday, and I went through my senior year by myself, working 3 jobs just trying to get by. D average student at best. I graduated, but I didn't walk with my class. I sat in the bleachers. And it was because I didn't feel like I earned that diploma. I didn't feel like a D average student was good enough to grace the stage and take that diploma, throw off the hat, and do all that good stuff. Which, by the way, Jeff, I kind of feel like we should have a cap and gown thing that we can throw, because I've always wanted to do that. So maybe we could throw that in there for Summit. But those were the things that I told myself, right? It wasn't good enough. So I just switched that. I had to believe that I was capable of being a successful coach. I had to believe that I was capable of people listening to a 23-year-old who decided she wanted to do self-help on Facebook. I had to believe I was capable of that. I have. How much value do you feel you have? I didn't really feel like I had a whole lot to contribute to people, besides how to take a really good selfie with some natural light. Most people weren't asking me how to do that, but I had to learn that some people secretly wanted to know. So instead I made a video that got a whole 2 likes. People really watched it though. Back then you couldn't see how many views, but now you can see how many people are viewing it. So I had to learn that I couldn't put the likes on my worth. It didn't matter. I was just gonna share whatever I wanted to share. Maybe it was helpful, maybe it wasn't, but I had to feel like I was adding value. I like how much good you see in yourself or the world. I found myself to be pretty negative sometimes. I would be surrounded by military wives. My first run-in with a Special Forces wife was on a plane by myself with the boys. She looks over at me, she sees my pen, and she's like, "Oh, honey, you're a new one, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Hi, yeah." And she's like, "Ugh, we're going to Hawaii without him because he's never home. It's a miserable life. Can't even stand him. Don't even know why we're still together." I'm like, I should get a new seat right now. She's like, "I'm prepping you. He's probably gonna cheat on you. They all do it. You know, they all do it. Honey, do your own thing." And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is what this is gonna be like. And from time to time, there were wives that were like that. They wanted to vent on their husbands. They wanted to talk about how it wasn't fair that they were never home to help, to do the dishes, or tuck the kids in that night. And I would find myself getting caught up in that, like, yeah, that's not fair. And then I take a step back and I'm like, wait a second, he's out there fighting for us. What's fair? I'll do what I have to do. So I had to learn that I had to surround myself with different people. Who were the people that were influencing how I was viewing what my husband was doing in the service? So I kind of took a step back. I unplugged from everything. And I decided to pick my 5 people. Shalene became my best friend. She didn't know it, but we were BFFs. We talked every day. And I would just be like, I love these people. They don't know me, but I have to plug into them all the time. I was obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. Adam would come home and be like, "Babe, I think we need some help on Beachbody." There came a point where we weren't allowed to say the word Beachbody in the house after 4. It got that serious. I was obsessed. But it changed the way that I view the world. Because I was listening to people who didn't want to be normal. It was okay to be weird. And that showed me it was okay to believe that I could make this happen and bring them home. I am. How do you define yourself? What do you say about yourself on a day-to-day basis? A lot of you will look at other people on social media, maybe some coaches that are already successful, and you'll say, "I'm not as fit as him. I'm not as pretty as her. I'm not as photogenic. I'm not that great on video." Let's be honest, my selfie sucks, right? Like, you're saying all these things to yourself on why you can't do something because I'm not this. You have to shift that. Before you even believe it, you have to shift it in order to believe it. Those were things that I had told myself, and I had to put Post-it notes all over my house, and it looked like a box of Skittles had exploded everywhere. And Adam would come home and be like, "I am beautiful. I am loved. God loves me. I am great today." Our house was ridiculous. And my friends would come over and be like, "She was so into herself." I was like, I have so many issues. I'm not. But those are the things that I had to tell myself to believe it, so it projected on social media. I remember how you choose to recall what has control over you. This was a really big thing that Bo Easton taught me when I was at one of the seminars. Because I used to look at my past, and I would think of police sirens. I would think of domestic violence calls. I would think of my dad never keeping a promise. I would think of all these awful things. And I allowed that to define me. I allowed that to control what I thought I was going to be capable of. But instead I had to flip that, and I had to decide that I was going to be the hero of my story and not the victim. And so I want you to change the way you may view some of the things that have happened in your life. You have to change how it controls you. Click, click, click. They either support or threaten how you identify yourself. All of those. Flip of a coin, 50-50, 50-50. It's going to support and make you better, or it's going to threaten how you identify yourself. This is how I identify myself on the one side a lot. This was an Okinawa. Every time Adam wanted a picture of me, I was like, oh, stop. Please, can I put a kid in front of me? Can I squat like this or turn to the side? I just wanted to move myself because I was so uncomfortable in my own skin. And this picture over here was after Amy training. I don't know where she is. Where'd she go? There she is. That was after Amy training for one of my shows. She wanted to kill me for doing some of the programs in my living room because I was like, I'm repping Beachbody. She's like, don't.